Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, T to T. You can refer to me as Miss T. And we just got a little news today. Some exciting things. But anywho, let's turn to welcome back. Welcome to Boxing Fan Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. And we're just going to jump into it. So, wait a minute, before I do that, water check. Water check. This will be my 10th one. It's nice and cold, too. Eric Gomez is in the building with the Bomb Squad. I can't be yelling all the time. What's up, player? What's up, King? Okay. So, Tank drops the super lightweight belts. That was my thumbnail. Y'all saw that. Before I get into that, I just want to throw this little nugget out there. So y'all know Canelo and Floyd Mayweather is having a little beef going on between each other. Why they got the beef? Because Mayweather is questioning Canelo moves out here in these boxing streets. And Canelo fans think that Mayweather is just jealous of him about his accomplishments. So, I know that they his fans, but why would Floyd be jealous of Canelo's accomplishments? First off, Canelo could never equal what Mayweather has done in boxing. He just can't equal it. Even when it comes down to making money, he cannot equal what Floyd has done. Some people say, oh, maybe he can't. We don't know what the future holds. But I highly doubt he can make the impact that Floyd has had, because it will always come back to Floyd beat you. So why would the person who beat you or best you be jealous of you? Could it possibly be that Floyd just was telling how he feel and, saying the truth? I don't know if somebody asked Floyd or this is something Floyd volunteered, or I don't know. But it could be possible that somebody keep bringing him up or saying something to him, and Floyd just like, hey, for real, Canelo ain't making the most wise decision in his career. He's gonna come off looking like a fool. I mean, he already looked like a fool. Even if he make it to the Boxing Hall of Fame, there may be an asterisk beside his name. I mean, he already looking like a fool. So, I mean, Canelo can feel the way he feel. His fans can feel the way they feel. But Floyd can feel the way he feel, And first off, you got to ask yourself, was he lying? Okay. So, Canelo can never equal Floyd Mayweather accomplishment. He just can't. He too late in his career to even try. It just ain't gonna happen. I don't know what he will have to fight till he like 50. I don't know. He can't. He won't never beat as many champions as Floyd has, undefeated champions at that, or undefeated people as Floyd has. Just so many records Floyd has broken. Canelo is not his equal, not even in the money that he making. Canelo has yet to make over $50 million a fight. Floyd did that several times. So, not sure what his fans meant by that. Mayweather was talking about his decision to go up to cruiserweight and fight that Makabu dude And actually I read something today that said they're not gonna fight at a catch weight. He actually gonna be cruiserweight. Now y'all gotta use your common sense. It really isn't natural to be going up and down in weight like that. That's a lot of weight. From 168 to roughly 190, 200, that's a lot of weight to be going up and down and then be competitive at that, because you're going to lose something. But, I always thought Canelo was a weight bully anyway. So what is he losing? If he naturally is that size and he drinking that tea or sipping that syrup to get down to a lower size so he can weight bully against the smaller people. That's what I thought anyway. So that's all Floyd was saying. And the question you have to ask yourself, is Floyd lying? He's not lying. I mean, that's his assessment, but he's not lying. And like I said, all he said was he won't impress with him. Is Floyd not allowed to say that without anybody being butthurt and that he cherry picking? Is Canelo cherry picking? Yes, he is. So Floyd is allowed to say that. Is he ducking people? Obviously, yes, he is. He been ducking Andrade since the 154 division. So, yeah, he is. PGH Big Dog is in the building, was popping king. So Floyd just gave his assessment. Again, I'm not aware if Floyd, was asked or he volunteered. I'm assuming they keep throwing Canelo up in his face. Canelo can never be better than Floyd when it comes to judging a person boxing skills or career. It just ain't gonna happen, y'all. It's not gonna happen. And Floyd knows that. It's not gonna happen. Now, outside the ring, you might have an argument. You might. But to each his own. PGA's Big Dog, Floyd was 100% right in calling out Canelo bullshit. Yeah, he was. And they butthurt because he keeps saying it. But he should say it. Other fighters should say it. We should say it. As commentators or whatever you want to call us. Everybody should keep saying it till Canelo get it through his thick skull that we see right through him. You see through Boo Boo in my Biggie Smalls voice. You see through. There's nothing in me that says this man could have fought Caleb Plant at 168 and now he can be a cruiserweight and still have that kind of effect. But you won't fight Andre claiming payday. Ain't that what the fuck you doing? Getting a payday? Isn't that what every boxer? Name me the boxer that's not getting a payday. Then I can shut up. Because I thought that's what it's prize fighting. It's prize fighting. So Floyd's assessment was fair, I think. And it's his assessment. So to all the Canelo fans that are butthurt, maybe you need to whisper something into your favorite fighter's ear and tell him what he looked like out here in these boxing streets. Or maybe he will never care what somebody like me and a lot of fans out here think. That would be on him. But what y'all can never do is prop him up as the greatest. Never. Can never, ever, ever be. PTA's Big Dog say, WBA is full of shit. They don't want another black undisputed champ. Spence, Ugas, or Bud would be undisputed. They needed to let Spence versus Ugas happen. Yeah, I got that too. I'm going to talk about that player. That shit is crazy. Remember the other day I said, is the fighter at the bottom of the totem pole? Are we paying to see Mauricio or Mendoza or what's that other name? Paco and the other guy name? Are we paying to see them? Or are we paying to see the fighters? Are they breaking a sweat, busting a grape to do anything arduous, or is that fighter doing it? To me, it should be the fighter and then everybody else. But they insert themselves in every fucking thing. And then we sitting here like, We following them, might as well say. And I don't want to follow Mauricio. Mr. Cantone can never get my dollars, per se. L Dub is in a building, was popping king. So I'm gonna get to it though. So that's all I wanted to say really about Canelo and how he's ducking folks, cherry picking. We all know that. But the latest was that Floyd spoke on it. Kudos to Floyd for speaking on it. See, when Floyd do something right or correct, I will shout it out. If Floyd do something wrong, even though I love Floyd, he's my favorite fighter of all time. Full disclosure, y'all. Floyd is my favorite fighter. He's the only boxer that I almost got to fighting with somebody else talking about him. Like, I'm ready to throw fucking blows. I'm seriously ready to throw blows. I was shaking. I was ready to throw blows because I felt like the person that was talking to me was just trying to be annoying and was, being agitating me on purpose, but they didn't know what the fuck they was talking about. So I was getting annoyed, but we were talking about Floyd Mayweather and his skills or whatever. Now, outside the ring is something that's to be desired at times. Floyd do a lot of great things. He do a lot of wonderful things. But some parts of him is left to be desired by a lot of folks. But talking about boxing, you need to be E.F. Hutton when he talks. When Floyd talks about boxing, E.F. Hutton, you need to listen. Because if don't nobody know nothing about boxing, that nigga know. And he called it just right with Canelo. But his fans going to be butthurt once y'all tell y'all favorite fighter to lace him up and get in the ring with David Benavidez. If Andre just want to payday and he ain't nothing, then get in the ring with him. Canelo ain't gonna do that. I hope this Makabu dude beat the dog shit out of him. I really do, but I doubt if he would. And Floyd knows that guy. And I'm glad he spoke up because he knows that guy. And without he was kind of diplomatic. He was trying not to put the guy down, but he was like, I'm a translator. I'm going to put my stank on it. Floyd was like, man, that guy ain't shit. We seen him in the gym. He fought in my gym. Everybody was piecing his ass up. Yeah, he big. He might got something little, but like, he ain't shit. And Canelo knows it, and any boxer worth their salt knows it. That guy is no competition. With him, it wouldn't matter if he fought somebody that was 168. They'll beat him. They will beat that guy. And Floyd had to let it be known. And I'm glad he did. So we can shine a light on what Canelo really doing. It's almost, if he is that worse of a fighter, it makes me wonder, was this all by design? Did the WBC, because I'm assuming he got that belt, or whoever, made it so that this non-talented fighter, sorry dude, I don't know you, but this is the word on the street about you, non-talented fighter gets a belt only because Canelo knew a year ago what he was going to do. I'm telling you, he padding his record. He's padding his record to look like the all-time greatest. But you get none. You will never even be in the running. But they pad this dude's record or give him a title. And then Canelo, knowing years out or a year out at least, I'm going to go fight that dude. And all they're going to see on paper is I fought a big-ass dude and took his championship because I'm that badass dude. No. You are truly fighting a tomato can. And everybody who knows boxing and know him, they know that's what you're doing. But you're going to do it anyway. Macadocious Mac of the South in the building. He says, salute the lovely and beautiful Madame Queen Miss T. Salute to you too, King. But that's what he's doing. I see it. I see it plain as day. How did this no talented guy even get a belt? And out of everybody you could fight, what you'll skip past 175? I mean, you hop, skipping, and jumping to get to another weight class just to fight somebody that everybody knows is not that talented. Hell, the way Floyd was putting it in my head, this guy was probably getting pieced up by welterweights and motherfucking junior welterweights and lightweights. That's how I was reading what Floyd was saying. Like, you know, when he said, we know him in the gym, Floyd was being nice. But he basically squealed on the dude. You know, the dude ain't got nothing in the bag. He an easy mark. And maybe the guy gonna pull something off. And for the guy's sake, you know, if it's just about a payday for him, God bless you. We all need a payday. Payday. Macadocious Mac of the South. PGH, Big Dog, and L Dub, the experts, salute my brothers and kings. Okay. But y'all saw the title. Tank Davis picked a division. He had to pick a division. Well, we knew that going into the fight. We knew that Tank had he had to make a decision roughly either at the fight, right at the fight, or not like literally in the fight, but I'm just saying like the week of the fight or right after the fight. He had to make a decision which division he was going to be in. We know they made him drop the 130-pound regular championship belt. And these were all WBA belts. And I kind of looked up what the fuck that means because it'd be confusing with WBA with all these goddamn belts and everything. But I'll tell y'all in a second. Michael Fuller is in the building, was popping king. He said, even though you came into the barbershop and cut me with the straight razor, I'm still showing you love. And see, I didn't realize I cut you with a straight razor. You know I speak facts, Michael. I didn't get what you was trying to say, but I'll let you have your moment after I cook. Is that fair enough? We can talk about it towards the end. Is that fair? I don't be trying to cut you. I'm just saying. I just don't agree with some of your assessments. And it's okay. It's free country, right? Still got love for you, dog. We ain't gonna never agree on everything. That would make life boring. Straight juggler. Oh, Michael. Michael, you are exaggerating. You are exaggerating, my brother. Okay. So Tank dropped his belt. So like I said, we knew he dropped the 130. He had the choice between 140 and 135. And we all kind of assumed he was going to pick 135, but he could have picked 140. But after consideration and thinking, I guess he decided on 135. But I had a big question why he had to decide. I don't know. But I'll get to that. So they have the regular and the super. Because it was so confusing to me with these belts. They have the regular and the super. You only get the super if that fighter, like if Tank won another belt, like if he fought Devin Haney and won the WBC, he would be elevated to super. Okay. Which is weird because right now, I think George Kambosos hold that super belt because he took it off of Tio. When Tio won the belts off of Lomachenko, he got all that stuff. But the WBA, you know, is trying to reduce a lot of these belts to include that one. Or the super. One of the two, it's going to be one belt. In other words, in the WBO, that's a good move. This is what we was calling for because, you know, they had the supers, they had the regular, then they had the interims. And it's like, you get a belt, you get a belt, you get a belt in my Oprah voice. But people, you know, got tired of that shit. It's confusing. It's almost like giving everybody a trophy for participating. And so the WBA heard the fans and decided to reduce the number of belts to make it less confusing. But they're just not going to rip it out of people's hands. Hence the box off and everything, which is confusing to me right there. He's a real champion. Bud or Errol has a WBA, neither one of them. So why do Ugas need to be in the box off? That's what Ugas been crying, not crying literally, but like figuratively crying about. Look, I'm being treated unfair. This is just unfair. But I guess the WBA looking at stuff like it's gonna hurt first before it don't. So Tank is the regular, and that would make George Kambosos, I'm assuming, the super, because T.O. was the super. So you only get the super if a fighter wins one of the belts. You don't have to win all three of the other belts. You just have to win one of them. He will be elevated to the super WBA champion, and the regular belt will be vacated, and they would take their top two contenders or whoever they will order that's from their rankings of whatever division. So that's how that worked. Like I said, then that fighter becomes a super champion, and their regular is vacated, and two top contenders fight for it. The WBA pressured Tank. Let me say that again. They pressured Tank to pick a division. Why? Because if a fighter, let's say for shits and giggles, if Tank wanted to fight 3 times a year, he could definitely meet the obligations of all 3 sanctioning bodies. Couldn't he? He could fight a mandatory from each division. He could, if it was a bigger fight that can be held, that one division can step aside or just chill for a second and he'll get back to them. Why make him choose? You make it Canelo choose? I like to see that. If Canelo gonna take his ragged ass up to cruiserweight, he need to drop all them belts. I like to see that. Don't be just making one fighter do something and you're not doing it consistently across the board. That part I can't understand, because I didn't know it was a rule that you can only hold so many belts in so many different weight classes at the same time. I'm not aware of that rule. If it is a rule, I stand corrected. I just didn't know it. I wasn't aware of it. So if y'all have any information on that, let a sister know, because I don't know. You know what I'm saying, on that one. But they pressured him to pick a division. I guess he felt like he was going to make that decision after the fight, which he did. And like I said, my question is, why can't he hold all 3? Because I don't see them doing that to nobody else. But everybody ain't Tank. As I said before in previous videos, Tank is one of them fighters that I truly believe. I just really believe. And even though I said what I said about his fight on this past Saturday, I still believe that he is one of them fighters that potentially could have ran through the 130 division, the 135, and 140. I believe he had the capabilities or the wherewithal to be able to do that. But, that sounds too much like right. And Mayweather Promotions is not moving him like that. So we will never get to see that. But wouldn't that have been awesome? Andrew Charles is in the building. What's popping, King? He says, salute, Miss T. Wouldn't that have been awesome to see Tank win all the belts at 130, then all the belts at 135, and then all the belts at 140? I mean, who gonna top a record like that? So now, at this point, Tank is still young. What he should do is get all the belts at 135, then take his ass up to 140 and do it again. Again, ain't nobody even did that I'm aware of. But I'm not a boxing historian. But is there, my question to the chat, is there a boxer, past or present, that has went from, that in more than one division has become undisputed? Like, they become undisputed in one division, move up to another, become undisputed there. Has that ever happened? And if not, don't y'all think that that's a good idea, that Tank should try something like that? Because he could. Because he absolutely could. It's not a forlorn conclusion that everybody can beat Tank at 140. He's an excellent fighter. He had to dig deep this weekend, too. And it was a rough fight for him. This is why it proven when I say he was exposed that Mayweather and them is moving him wrongly, because they're giving him competition that really ain't no competition. He finally fought somebody of competition, and there was not that big of daylight in between both of them in their performance. Cruz is not prettier when he fights. He is not slick. He don't make the moves. Tank body and the way he was moving, it's just all natural. It looks natural. It flows natural. It looks good. When you're watching boxing, how he can move and just his movements and stuff. It looked good. And Cruz might not, it's not flashy. It's not flamboyant, which is not, that's the wrong word. But for me, flamboyant. I mean, it looked flashy and jazzy and snazzy. But I understand we're talking about men, so I'm going to rescind that word. Sorry, y'all. Not flamboyant. But look, jazzy. Should I say jazzy? It just, he didn't, Tank got those moves. But he didn't for sure win that fight. And I'll prove it. Let me see. This is why, because you're going to hear me talk about Rolly and other people and what they had to say about him. But I will always try to show the video just so y'all can see what I'm talking about. And let me see. Oh. Okay, let me take down some things so y'all can see it. And y'all see where I got my info. So I'm going to just play a clip because I don't want to play the whole thing. But look. Nice. Yeah. Nice too. So can anybody say with a straight face going forward that it was a complete wash and that they knew they was going to win? Can anybody really say that? At the end, when they announced the winner, I seen worry in his face. I seen worry in Calvin's face. I seen joy and like a whew type of relief type look or feeling. That was real feelings right there. It wasn't feelings of, normally he was just been like, how y'all do. Hit your chest, whatever. That's what he did, right? He wasn't doing that. He was like listening, like, the fuck gonna happen? Even he thought the fight was close, or it could have went either way, or it could have been a draw. Now, I'm not mad at the decision. Not mad at the decision at all, because Tank did put on a boxing clinic at times, but it's just showing you. It's just showing you it wasn't in the bag, kind of like how they pushing the narrative now. So, Andrew Charles said, I rewatched the fight yesterday and it was close. It was very close. Tank ain't want no more. I played that yesterday. Hell no. When we know Tank to do that. They said we don't turn down nothing. Yeah, you just turned down something. The injury made, Mike said, the injury made the fight go to distance and made it closer than it would have been with Tank in perfect health. But we cannot use that, Michael. We can't use that. You know why? Because Deontay couldn't use it. A lot of people can't use it. If you hurt before the fight, there's a process. If you don't say nothing, then you really shouldn't bring it up after. The only time it's good to bring it up is to say, in your corner, because they listening. Yeah, my hand hurt, my hand hurt. And you basically throwing it out there like, hey, y'all can factor this in. I wish I'd have showed the video after the fight, after that weekend that T.O. fought, because I brought up the fact that the nigga was near death. He is diagnosed. This is not cap. This is legit. T.O. was sick. He was legitimately sick, but he didn't want to call the fight off or be the reason why the fight don't happen with all the past things that have happened since June, since the fight's supposed to have happened. So T.O. took the fight, not knowing how sick he was, and let his doctors and other doctors who don't know him from a can of paint, they are not capping the line. He legitimately was on death's door. Now, if that takes the luster off of Kambosos, so be it. But I don't think I seen a clip of T.O. and them coming out per se and saying his doctors and other doctors was like, yeah, that dude should have never fought. Literally on death's door. And will we find out about this condition? Any one of us can have it. It's not attached to COVID or anything like that, but it's a condition that any one of us can have. You have bronchial problems, you have asthma real bad, you have a severe trauma to your chest area or whatever, you can breathe, air through your lungs can escape and be coming out in between. That's dangerous. It can happen to all of us. It usually fixes itself because it's not normal for the air to be existing in those spaces. So it'll course correct. Most of the time, that's what it does. It's not like I'm saying on the books, we got a lot of people who die from it. What I'm saying is he could have died. And I mean, really died, especially being that he fought in the ring 12 rounds to the point that his doctors said they don't even know how he's still living. They don't know how he made it through that boxing match. He got to sit his ass down for a minute and get healthy. Andrew Charles said Cruz took Tank's best shots. He did. I think it would have gone the distance regardless. Michael said it was obviously something wrong with T.O.'s cardiovascular condition. I thought it was his training, but he was sick. That had an impact on the outcome of the fight, period. And he went in there, and this is not T.O. saying it. Could T.O. or his daddy ask the doctors to go out and speak on his behalf? They could have. Or they, we know T.O. put his foot in his mouth all the time. But George Kambosos, I even said when he won, in my head, he's not going to have them belts long. Soon as Devin get to him, soon and very soon, we are going to see the king. As soon as Devin get to him, the belts, he going to have to unask him. He is not going to beat Devin. He is not going to beat Tank. He's not going to beat a lot of welterweights. But, he's a good guy. Probably served the Lord or whoever he prayed to. And that's his blessings. Things happen for a reason, right? Michael said Tank was starting to break Cruz down before he completely broke his hand, at which time Tank had to take some stank off the shots and eventually had to fight with one hand. When he hurt his hand, Michael, I don't know if he was completely breaking him down, but I did see towards the end, like especially them last, I will say this, them last 30 seconds or 40 seconds of the 12th round, Cruz is lucky he made it. Matter of fact, I would say the 12th round period, because he was tired, because he was missing shots and doing things even he don't do. I've seen this man fight before. He fights all the way through to the end and with the same intensity. But Tank got to him. Tank for sure got to him. And he got to Tank. That was a good-ass fight. But I'm not mad at the decision. I did say I thought it was a draw. But if anybody edged, it was to go to Tank. It was to go to Tank. And I said Devin won his fight better. Cruz never looked like he was getting broke down. Not to me. Yep, it's okay that Tank had a tough fight against a guy he couldn't stop. It doesn't make him less of a fighter than what he is. True that. That's what I be saying. We want to see the best fight the best. We want to be able to heap the rewards and all the praise on Tank. Can't do it when you fighting people we know you better than, or that you know you better than. Floyd didn't get the attaboys and the praise that he got by fighting people he knows he can beat. Floyd fought some tough motherfuckers. And they went, which I say was saying, balls to wall when they fought him. Even if they weren't that great fighting other people, when they fought Floyd, they put out all the stops, but they just couldn't beat him. So when we say Floyd is TBE, you can say it with a straight face. That's what we need to be able to talk about Tank, Devin, and anybody else in boxing. We need to be able to say it with a straight face. They are the bee's knees. But let me get back to this WBA and the bullshit that they running over there. WBA can order. So what this means? WBA can order him to face Kambosos. So he have that pathway. Talking about Tank. The WBA can order Tank to fight Kambosos. He can. You know why? Because he's a regular champion. And if he's the regular champion and Kambosos is the super champion, that fight can be ordered. You know? And so he has a pathway. Devin Haney also has a pathway. Although between the two, I think it's only fair to give Devin that fight. I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm not going to lose sleep over who get what, but I think it's Devin's turn. Michael Phillips says style makes fight. Frazier beat Ali, Foreman beat Frazier, Ali beat Foreman. Yeah. Intellect in the ring also makes fights. I would add that to what you're saying, Michael. But yes, I agree. And like I said, Devin Haney also has the pathway. I'm reading my notes, y'all. Devin Haney also had a pathway. He can activate his mandatory. Devin Haney can activate that and be like, yo, he got to fight me. And it can be done. Now, to George's credit, he was like, yeah, run it. Now, we don't know what George's saying now that he's back home. I'm assuming he's back home. But while he was doing his every little step he take in America tour, he was saying some good things. He was talking like a fighter we would like as fans, saying the things we want to hear. So, but the WBA still wants to reduce those belts. So what I take it is, if Tank were to fight Kambosos and Tank won, that WBA regular belt would be gone. I'm telling you, that's what the WBA doing. They reducing these belts. Wait a minute, yo, I'm getting back from New York. Okay. Oh, Coach G will be here tomorrow. So he said he got to put his stank on it. So yeah, in the effort to reduce the belts, you know, this is why they having the box off. This is once they give that regular champion an opportunity to actually fight somebody and, you know, to elevate their status or whatever, whether they win or lose, once that happened, that belt that regular champion had, they're getting rid of it. And I don't know if the super champion becomes like just the regular champion. I don't know what name is going to stay, but they trying to get down to one belt. You know, Michael Fuller said Tank is out until next fall. That hand is in bad shape. Tank will definitely not be back before midsummer, in my opinion. That might be true. I mean, he comported himself well overall. You know, he comported himself well. He did tell some truths and all that when he said, hell no, I don't want a rematch. And and all that. But when he said, the reporter asked him something about the toughness of the fight. I couldn't really hear what the reporter said, but Tank responded like, "You think he was better, or you think it was that close?" And the reporter hesitated, but he said, "Yeah." And that was a hostile room. People was in their feelings, like, and maybe they weren't in their feelings, but they're trying to scold the reporters like they children. You know how an adult get real firm with you when you're talking to a kid because you're letting them know you mean business. That's how Leonard set the tone of that whole press conference. When somebody asked him a fair and legitimate question, he answered it angrily. So he set the tone right there, making if I'm sitting there and I'm reporting and I see this, I'm gonna be real leery as to what I'm gonna ask going forward, because he set the tone like that. They don't want the constructive criticism, and that's what it just is. It's nobody's taking nothing away from Tank and diminishing his status or his progress. Just constructive criticism. We got to call it like we see it. I think the combination of everybody saying they putting you up against people, they know you could beat, and it's funny how they moving you, because remember that was all in the air before the fight. And Tank is disgruntled. He's frustrated. You can see it on his face. I don't know if he's mad at Mayweather. I don't know if he's mad at Leonard. I don't know if he's mad at Calvin. But even when Mayweather get around him, if Mayweather would just stop and look at that boy's face, because I'm gonna put my stank on it and tell you what I see. Here's Mayweather talking to him, and sometimes he's just straightforward. Mayweather all in his ear and shit. Like, I don't know what the private conversation is. It's starting to look suspect. I love Mayweather and I love Tank, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Ain't that much whispering in another man's ear. It's starting to get annoying. It looks weird. Am I lying, y'all? Let me know. Am I lying? Andrew Charles said, "I'm cool with Tank dropping the belt. I think Tank's reputation holds more weight than the belt at this point in his career anyways." Yeah. Y'all let me know, because I'm a woman. But not saying a woman can't have an assessment or an opinion, but I'm talking about two men and all this, whispering in the ear and always huddling up and all this private conversation. What the fuck could you be talking about? He do it in the ring before the bell. He do it after the fight in the ring. Every time he with him, they leaning in real private. I don't know. Am I the only one to think that look weird? It's starting to look weird, yo. Once in a while. But every time you with this man, so here's Mayweather, here's Tank. And Mayweather's in his ear, and then sometimes he lean him back. And then you can tell, like, man, if they don't start reading that boy's face, because I'm reading, "Get the fuck away from me." That's the poker face he giving. That's what I'm reading. But it ain't just him. I see him do it with Calvin. I've seen him do it for months with Calvin. And I know Calvin was a father figure to him, and I ain't trying to start nothing, but y'all gotta be honest here. Y'all not reading this man's face? Get out of his face. Maybe his hand needed to get injured like that so he can take a motherfucking break from everybody. Because I really believe that's what he needs. He need a break. He need a break from them all up in his ears. It's either they kissing his ass or they trying to run him. He look like he in a cult, like he's stuck or some shit. Like, somebody help me. That's what his eyes look like sometimes. Y'all ain't saying shit in the chat. I mean, I know I cannot be the only one who see this. I know I can't be the only one to see this. I ain't trying to start shit, but I'm just like, they have to read this man's face. I bet you Tank is somewhere and look, if he ever see this, he'll be like, damn, how that bitch know? How she know? Either he's saying or he be like, she don't know what the fuck she talking about. I'll take it. I'll take it either way. I'm reading your face. I'm reading your body language. Just like when they announced the winner, that wasn't people standing there knowing they had it in the bag. That wasn't that look. That wasn't the look that they were given. We clearly see the shit was a tough fight. It was puff puff give. And the puff puff part of it was Tank. And the give part of it was Cruz. Puff puff give. That's what it was all night long in that fight. So I just think Tank need a well-deserved rest. And Tank, if you're able to be undisputed, I will pray that you do it. Just like I prayed Devin gets his opportunity. If Devin goes over to fight Kambosos, he will win, in my opinion. I could be wrong, because I really don't know how hard Kambosos hit. And all his other opponents, we don't even know. They have been overseas. I don't know nobody other than T.O. that he fought. So I'm assuming all his opponents were overseas or down under where he is. T.O. ain't gonna come out no time soon and say that man punches hard. We can wait till next Christmas for that shit. T.O. is not gonna say that unless he's so far from removed from the situation, i.e. going up to 140 and become champion, looking back in reflection and say, yeah, that motherfucker hit hard. But that ain't gonna do us no good, because we will hope that the fight happens way before any of that could happen. But that's all we got on record to really judge Kambosos off of. I still think that T.O. was a better fighter than him. I think T.O. was more aggressive and hurt him more in that fight, but I ain't mad at the decision. But Devin is going to unask them belts. He gonna have to unask him and give him home to Devin. And then by then, Tank should be well healed up, and that's the next fight. That is the next fight. Once Devin gets all them belts and become undisputed, go ahead and fight Tank. But more than likely, Devin gonna drop them belts and move on up, mosey on up to 140. And I guess Tank will scoop it up, or I guess Ryan Garcia will come out of hibernation and try to scoop him up. But the WBA claims that all their moves is in an effort to reduce the number of belts that they have out there. And if that's the case, if it's really legit like that, then you can't fault them. But I need to see that consistently applied across the board in different weight classes with different champions, especially your beloved Canelo the Chiduk or the Duck Alvarez. Quack, quack. So WBC, this was brought up in an article I read, that the WBC need to follow suit with what the WBA is doing. We all pretty much can hold our breath on that one. Mauricio Suleiman, aka Mr. Cantone, he's not going to do that. He is not going to do what the WBA is doing. He's just not. You know why? He's a non-profit organization being ran as a profit organization. I can keep saying it until somebody shine the light on it. He's a non-profit organization operating as a profit organization. How we know this? Look at what he does. Everything is about money with him. How he cover up for certain fighters. He's also racist, and he picks favors. He shouldn't even be allowed to work in the U.S. at this point. I'm sure he's a good man and a good father and good grandfather or whatever the hell. But when it comes to these belts, you cannot come, I feel like this. You can't come in my country dogging Americans out. I don't care what color the Americans are. Nah, that's not what I put that uniform on for 20 years, to sit back and watch them blatantly just fuck with people's civil liberties and deny them the pursuit of happiness. You can't do that. It's against the law. You're not supposed to be able to do that and get away with it. And that's what he's doing. He's running an organization that's supposed to be open to all, but he's discriminating against certain groups of people. Right there, he is breaking the law. He's also for profit. When you have a franchise belt, a silver belt, a gold belt, and a platinum belt. One of them, I want to say the platinum maybe, you don't have to pay any sanctioning fees. That's some kind of like what they gave to Mayweather. I don't know, like a souvenir type thing. I don't know. But most of them, the fact that you have all these fucking belts, and then you got the interim belts, the fact that you have all this shit. I told y'all, and I'm going to try to say it off the cuff of my head. I know I put it out in a previous video. I told y'all how they collect their money, roughly. Morgan Greer, VOA.FYI. Morgan, welcome to the building. I'm not sure if you're a king or a queen, but either way, welcome to the building. But Morgan, I get texts like this or messages with these type of letter, VOA. Can you explain what VOA is and this .FYI for your information? I'm assuming. But I get some text like that. It makes me think it's from overseas. No problem. Just explain so I can be on the same page as what you're saying. Maybe you have a critique. I'll take those too. But getting back to how these belts run. So let's look at it from a poor fight, like an Isaac Cruz. This is the most money he has ever made. He was guaranteed a purse of $300,000. Kudos for him. I think Tank's guarantee was $1 million. Kudos. Roughly by the numbers, he should have pulled in close to $600,000. It could be more because he got 40% of the pay-per-view buys. He got a percentage of that. So Isaac Cruz probably made more money than he ever did in all the fights that he's ever done. Nobody knew who he was. He's from Mexico. And I guess like other Mexican fighters, you get an opportunity to come fight in the Mecca, a.k.a. United States of America. You're going to take that opportunity. You're not going to let that pass by. And Isaac Cruz was no different. He did that about 6 times. And each time he won the fight like you and I as boxing fans want to see him fight. So take him. And I said all that to say, y'all can kind of now imagine what this guy's paychecks were. He probably was making roughly between $10,000 to $20,000 a fight. He wasn't making much. You could tell by the All Access, what his house, where he went home to, where his wife was cooking. You could tell. I've lived in a lot of Spanish, like I lived in Spain. I've been in a lot of Spanish type territories. I know when there's highfalutin areas versus low income, and that's what that was. No shame to him. We all came from humble beginnings, but so they living like that. So he gets this massive paycheck now, but don't count the paycheck he got just now. Think about the paycheck he would have had what he was getting before. I don't think Isaac Cruz ever even made $100,000. I don't know if he ever made $50,000. And if he did, that's probably about the highest he got. So if he's making $50,000, let's stop right there. Let's use that as an example. Isaac Cruz, promoter, whoever that may be, will have to pay Mr. Cantone. Y'all know who I'm talking about, the president, Mauricio Suleiman of the WBC. So Isaac Cruz, promoter, will have to pay him $7,000 just for him to even fight for the belt. And he was fighting for a belt. Now, True enough, he was fighting for WBA, but I'm telling you, using the WBC model, because I haven't researched the WBA model to know exact numbers. But I'm saying with the WBC, if you're a poor fighter, $7,000. Your promoter gonna pay off the rip just for you to get in contract with that belt holder or title holder and have a match. Okay, cool. Now, he himself have to pay that. And his trainer or people in his corner have to pay a percentage. It could be 3%. They have to pay a percentage too. So that's one side. Every time Tank fights, he has to pay the president of the WBA. When we using the WBC model, we know Tank got WBA, but we're gonna use the WBC because that's, like I said, it's the only one I have researched, and I will be researching the others in the future. But he would have had to pay $7,000, give or take, right? Every time he go out there and make a fight because he's defending that belt, that's the sanctioning fees. His promoter, Mayweather, will have to pay $7,000. But Tank is not a poor fighter. Tank makes money. So if you make more money, your fee to the sanctioning body goes up. So like Mayweather, when it's all said and done, it seemed like he probably felt like I'm paying millions of dollars, even though they said there's a cap. There's a cap. Now, Mayweather, if you won the regular, the super, the diamond, what's the other ones? The gold, the silver, the platinum, all of those, you have to pay WBC or whoever a fee. When it's all said and done, Mayweather was unassing millions. And I'm sure that's what helped him arrive at the conclusion, like, fuck these sanctioning bodies. I'm not keeping these belts. Once he got the belt, because what happens is the belt you see in the ring belongs to the person who brought it in there. But so the person, if the opponent wins, they rocking the belt, they take it in the back, but then they have to give it back. Or maybe it's a dummy belt that's brought to the ring just so that it's for show and tell, is what I'm trying to say. The WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF, in a couple of weeks, maybe a month, they will be sure to get you your belt. No matter what happens going forward in your career, you will always have that belt. You will have it in your home. It will be on your mantle or wherever you display it, as like how people display trophies. You will always have that belt. If you lose, it don't matter. You still got the belt they gave you. So it's a memento thing. It's all show and tell, dog and pony. But you know, as the promoter, so as Tank, he makes more money, so he pays more in sanctioning fees. That's why y'all hear Tank be talking like he don't care about the belts. I mean, if Tank ain't careful and he's winning all these belts, he's gonna be paying millions in sanctioning fees. Just like Floyd. This, like I told y'all, there's supposed to be a cap. With the WBC, for a person like Floyd, the cap should be $200,000. Well, if it's $200,000, how was Floyd paying millions or close to millions in sanctioning body fees? Floyd was smart to be like, I don't care about that anymore. Not that it's not important. Y'all can have them. Y'all can fight over that. Floyd watches money like we watch our money. Michael Fuller said, what were the pay-per-view numbers? I don't have that just yet. Gravy Davis in the building was popping king. He said, salute kings and queens. So, Tank had to pay some money. Isaac Cruz had to pay some money. Tank promoter had to pay some money. Isaac Cruz promoter had to pay some money. Tank's training or his little team over there had to pay some money in a smaller percent. Isaac Cruz trainer, a little group over there, somebody had to pay a smaller percent. That's a lot of money to pay a sanctioning body. And that goes down every time they put a match together and get in the ring. So when Errol and Bud fight, Bud got to pay the sanctioning body. Whoever's representing him as a promoter got to pay. Errol got to pay twice because he's his own promotion. You understand? And if anybody else is tagging along, because you know how they can have is a top rank PBC Mayweather promotion fight, card or whatever. All of them together still have to pay because that's the venue. This is how these sanctioning bodies make a lot of money. And just imagine, that's one belt. Now factor in the fact that you got the regular, the super, you got franchise, what's the ones I named? Silver, gold, platinum. You even got a diamond belt. Interim belts. Remember the interims? Just basically like number one contender. But you only number one contender in name. You're going to have to pay the fees on it. But if they wanted to order a fight, they don't have to pick you. They can go in the top 5. Every sanctioning body has their own rules and regulation. But the point is money, money, money. So when I say the WBC and the WBA and some of these sanctioning bodies are non-profits, because that's what they have to be. They have 501c. That denotes what guidelines they fall under when it comes to the IRS. You don't have to be from this country to owe Uncle Sam a lot of money. Ask Pacquiao. He ain't a citizen of this country to my knowledge. He ain't from this country, but he was in trouble with Uncle Sam. And he could say, fuck it. I belong to the Philippines. I ain't got to pay y'all shit. Doesn't work like that. The IRS always wins. So now, because you're not operating as a nonprofit, you kind of like a for-profit. You're breaking the rules, so you don't need to have that IRS protection, them tax laws that protect you and keep you from having to pay out the nose. Now you don't get that. But they still operating under the guise of we're a nonprofit. And they still getting the benefits that a nonprofit gets, even though they're clearly breaking that rule. That's a lot of laws broke, y'all. And they don't want that heat. Now, I don't know if they ever catch my show. I'm just a teeny dot in the internet world. They probably never see my show. But if they did, I bet they would be like, who is this bitch? Hey, why is she talking? Hey, who's this bitch? Y'all breaking the rules. And then not to mention the discriminations and the and keeping people from, exercising their civil liberties. America is America. This ain't Mexico. This ain't Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to throw that out there with these sanctioning bodies. Don't be surprised if Tank don't even want to fight Kambosos. You know how much money Kambosos now have to pay out? But he paid, this is the funny thing. Before he came into that ring, he paid for all of those belts. Whether you got them or not, if you're fighting for them, you have to pay. You have to pay. So that might make us understand too why some fighters fight twice a year. Now, if you don't have a belt and you just fighting contenders, you can fight every day, all day. It ain't costing you nothing. You're going to get a paycheck or whatever. Maybe that's the lane that Tank want to be in. I'm exciting. I'm entertaining. I look smooth as hell when I box too. I can draw. I'm a draw. I can bring people to the arena. I can sell out crowds. So in the end of the day, I can beat everybody. I don't need a belt to tell me or show y'all or show myself that I am the top dog. He ain't lying. And I complain about it. I'm guilty of complaining about it because I'm like, if you're going to be a boxer, go for a championship and then unify and then be undisputed. If you're not here for none of those 3 things, Why are we looking at you? Why do I gotta line your pocket with money and support you financially with paying, patronizing your stuff when you're not even doing what I want as a fan? And I akin this to, I know a lot of y'all in the chat watch football. Which one of y'all is gonna have a team that you love so much, buy their merchandise, that tells y'all straight up they're not interested in making the playoffs? They're not interested in getting the Super Bowl. Y'all still gonna follow them? Well, for boxing, the Super Bowl is becoming champion, becoming unified, becoming undisputed. And however you want to break that down as playoffs, the wild card, whatever the case. But the ultimate goal is the Super Bowl, right? When in boxing, the ultimate goal is championship. Beyond that, undisputed. But we got fighters that don't want to do it, don't want to be a champion, and I'm supposed to line their pockets. But we will do it. I will probably pay for every Tank fight. Straight up. So, I mean, that's what's going on, you guys. There's two people who have a pathway at this point to Kambosos, and it's equally fair. I just feel that Devin, I just feel this way, Devin deserved it more. He been through more. You got people throwing monkey wrenches in his shit, and it's his turn. It ain't just the fighters that was avoiding him. It's, sanctioned bodies inserting their stuff in, making rules, making people have this and making people have that. Like what they doing to Ugas. Ugas is 35. He don't got much boxing left. This was his opportunity to make big fights and make millions. But he ain't going to see it. It ain't a foregone conclusion that he can beat somebody like Stanionis or that other guy. I personally think they want the fights to be between the white guy and the black guy. I just believe that because we know the top two dogs in the welterweight division is Errol and Bud. But if Stanionis beat Ugas and get a belt, we have to consider him. If the other guy, Buetav, whoever wins between Ugas and Stanionis, they got to fight Buetav. Either way, an Eastern European is in the mix with the two top welterweights. Because if he wins that WBA belt, Terrence or Errol got to come see them, setting them up perfectly to become undisputed as a welterweight when they haven't done half the job that Terrence and Errol has done thus far. But they're in the mix. This is what I mean by inserting themselves, these sanctioning bodies. Who we going to pay to see? The sanctioning body or the motherfucking fighter? Andrew Charles said, I won't be surprised if Loma swoops in on that Kambosos fight. Yes, indeed. They downplay how much he's worth, too. Loma years ago was worth millions. And he ain't even had 10 fights. Worth millions. And now if you ask his net worth, they make it seem like he barely a millionaire. Bullshit a lot, though. I ain't crazy. I looked him up a long time ago. Why? Because they made the wrong statement. You know what they said? In Mayweather's prime, Mayweather couldn't beat Lomachenko. I was like, what? Where y'all getting that from? Lomachenko was better than Mayweather. I had to look up who this dude is. What the hell y'all talking about? Now, once I look him up, I'm looking at all his business. And I see, no bullshit, I'm telling y'all, years ago. And I see that they got his net worth at $25 million. This was years and years ago. He wasn't even over 10 fights. I'm telling y'all, I saw this. I'm not embellishing or anything. PGH Big Dog said, at Macadocious Math for the South. Salute, fam. You said Ugas is a huge step up fight for Stanionis. Yeah. Ursula Skinner, VOA. Ursula, welcome to the building. I'm sorry I got choked up. Every time I sit near my window, it'll go away in a minute. Ursula, what does VOA mean? Y'all let a sister know. I don't know what y'all talking about, but y'all send this in text or chat or somewhere through the channel on my page or whatever, and I have no clue what y'all talking about. I would like to know. So, yeah. Another note about while we still on Tank. So Rolly has came out and said some shit. Now, again, my stance on Rolly right now, they did him wrong. I don't care what nobody say. That man was done wrong. And at this point, the woman who put the claim in need to be prosecuted. Sued or something. She cost him money. And you ain't gonna press charges? I will sue all them motherfuckers. They gonna pay me. They will have to pay. Rolly got a case. They gotta pay him. Super Bros X. Hello, Queen. What's up to you, King? So Rolly comes out and he says something about the fight. He says he see weakness in Tank and Haney, as only Rolly could say. Y'all make sure y'all smash the like button and hit subscribe if you never subscribed before. Smash that like button, please. That's what I asked Santa for Christmas. I need 1,000 people to smash the like button and subscribe button. That's what I asked for Christmas. Y'all help me get my Christmas gift. Which one of y'all is my secret Santa? That's what I want to know. So only in Rolly fashion, he's going to come out and say he see weakness in Tank and Haney. One being, this is what he's saying, and I totally do not disagree with him. I don't know if I would classify it as weakness, but I would definitely say I totally cannot disagree all the way. I would say, he said, it's the constant pressure and power punches. We know Rolly hits hard. Who hits harder? We don't know. We see now that Tank can take a punch really well because we know Isaac Cruz hits hard. We know this. Just like we know Tank hit hard, Isaac Cruz hit hard too. Now, Rolly claims he hits harder than all of them. We don't know. We know that Rolly hits hard. So all that part of it, power punches, we know that affect people. We seen Devin Haney take his fight game to another level in the middle of the ring. I mean, like, while he was fighting, so did Tank. While they was fighting, they took it to another gear. We saw that. We know that Devin Haney is a pure boxer. And what we do know is 9 times out of 10, between a pure boxer and a brawler, I'm going to side with the pure boxer. 9 times out of 10. Not to say that a brawler or a puncher could do damage, but a pure boxer seems to always, if they keep their composure and maintain the boxing, then they could be victorious because they're going to style and profile and map out points. So having known all this, we know Rolly can hit hard. We know as far as boxing skills, he is no competition for either Tank or Haney. We know that, but he can box a little. He can box a little. Rolly ain't just a novice. We know Rolly like to put pressure. We see that Tank and Devin gets very uncomfortable with pressure. Now, we can say it come with the territory. Floyd Mayweather had pressure on him all the time. He never looked uncomfortable. And he been hit by some hard punches too. Never looked uncomfortable. A lot of people, not just Floyd, but he comes to mind because I know a lot of us know Floyd. So just in case Miss Ursula over there, Queen Ursula, and the other queen is from overseas. In case y'all are from overseas, so, I use Floyd Mayweather as a guy, okay? But we know that Haney and Tank looked very uncomfortable to the point that you was like, what, like there was some doubt right there. And Rolly is simply saying, I can bring the pressure and I can bring the power. What's up? And he said, I'm knocking both of them the fuck out. Only in Rolly fashion. I'm knocking both of them the fuck out, shawty. Like Rolly, he's just as popular and can sell like Tank. Rolly is one that probably don't need belts and can make a fight and be selling out and making money and all that, just like Tank. We know he can. He got that kind of personality. He got that kind of charisma. But I just believe a boxer can do the job on Rolly. Why I say that? Rolly, you can say what you want, but until you sign the dotted line and get in there and do it, I'm rolling with Tank and Devin. You know why? Because we didn't see you in there with a pure boxer. His name was Jackson Marinas. And you lost that fight. You was gifted a win. You lost that fight. Do I think you can hurt them if you catch them? And see, that's the thing too. Are you going to catch Devin? I don't think so. You might could catch Tank, but I don't know. But Jackson Marias, I'm hoping I'm saying his name right. He outboxed you. And then here's the thing. You are under Mayweather, right? So when you fought this guy Jackson, who was he under? He might as well have been a nobody. I'm not saying the man was a nobody, but he might as well have been a nobody. You were Mayweather promotion in there. You had you was under the umbrella of the big dog. So just like we said, Cruz would have had to beat the dog shit out of Tank for him to get a win, and he didn't, because this is a Mayweather event. He wasn't going to get it. Even if it was a draw, it would have been a 7-5. Just keeping it buck. So, Rolly, you would not be either one of them. I don't think, because they can outbox you. But he did give Tank props. Then he did give him props, saying he said he ran, but I noticed a lot of young fighters, they like to use that. I need them to go back to saying ring generalship or utilizing the ring lateral movements. Use the technical terms instead of ran. I mean, we all know what running looks like, and if a person got their eyes on you and they sliding side to side or they moving, changing angles and shit, that's not running. But, I know these young fighters, they like to say that. So I'm going to say translation, ring generalship. I think he did mean it like that. But, that's the technical term that they want to put on it. That's the stank that they want to put on it. But they need to go back to the original way of describing that. So then he really did. He said he really did hurt his hand. So there he's validating Tank again. He really did hurt his hand in there, saying he saw when it happened. And Rolly seems to think Tank hand got hurt when he threw the punch and it hit Cruz in the elbow. That's possible. There have been fighters known to break their hands fucking hitting somebody's elbow. So that is very possible. I don't know. Head, elbow, knees and toes, whatever the fuck. He won't mad at the decision, and that's again being fair. He wasn't mad at the decision. He said it could have been a draw or Tank edged him, and that's what I said. It was either a draw, but if I had to give an edge, I'm giving it to Tank. That's what I said. But in Rolly fashion, as only Rolly could do it, He said he would have KO'd both of their asses. What y'all think? He said he would have beat the brakes off both of them. He'd have KO'd them. Andrew Charles said Marinez definitely beat Rolly. Marinez got washed in his next fight, if I recall correctly. Ooh, I didn't even follow the dude. I was so hurt for the guy. I was like, God damn, Mayweather, what the hell? Now, Mayweather, and I don't blame Mayweather. Mayweather probably did not ask them to do that, but they just, he the big dog. He the big fish. Everybody trying to suck his nuts. Sorry to say it like that, but it's true. That's what it seemed like they be doing. They trying to get in good with him so they can, do things that he wants you to do. He might not even ask for that. He might have been cool with fucking Rolly losing his shit. It ain't like he putting a lot of money into Rolly. He's just under his banner. I believe that Rolly truly believes what he says. That too. That part. He truly do believe what he say. And hey, shout out to him for that. Whoever Rolly fights, that's a big fight too. That's a big fight too. Now y'all know I don't want to talk about this coward, this punk ass. And I'm sorry, Ryan, I keep saying it about you when I talk about you, but that's what you show us. I don't even know why you even still think you're a boxer, because clearly you don't want to box. And it's kind of disgusting to even throw you in the mix with these great fighters. Even Cruz and JoJo. I can't talk about them and you in the same way. And if y'all remember, I did a ranking of 135. I had Ryan dead last. I had JoJo and Cruz over him for a reason. They are. JoJo Ghost in a building. He said, I don't think, was Poppy King, first of all. He said, I don't think it was that close if you were scoring the fight. I had an 8-4 Tank. I had it a draw. I think it was that close. I think there was rounds where it was a tie. There was several rounds where I was like, damn, which one do you pick? Because the first minute and a half is either Tank whooping his ass. The last minute and a half, Cruz whipping his ass, or vice versa. I saw several rounds like that. But I did say, JoJo, if I had to edge it, I give the edge to Tank. I'm not the only one that thinks this. They did a poll. Y'all should look at them polls that they do at the end of the fight. I don't think it's people in the audience calling in. I think it's people at home watching. So we can't say it's biased because people are calling in and taking those surveys of that poll, and there's statistical data. And what it said was 44% said the Tank won. Okay? And then they said that 36% said that Cruz won. But then 20% said that they thought it was a draw. Now, if you add the 20% and the 36%, why? Because a draw means neither one won. 36% means Tank didn't win. So if you add the 36% and the 20% together, that's 56% of the people watching saying the Tank didn't win. That's why I wasn't the only one that saw it like that. JoJo, they most definitely did. And at the end of these fights, y'all should look at it because they always put up a poll. Not that it's going to change something or matters, but if the majority of people out there watching saw it that way, now that's true enough. It could have been 10 people to call. It could have been 100. It could have been thousands. It don't matter. The percentage is the percentage. You know what I'm saying? Andrew Charles said, Ryan Rolly is a perfect matchup in my opinion. They are complete opposites in and out of the ring. Yeah, I'm not pressed to give Ryan nothing. I'm not pressed to give him anything. Sheila Carter in the building was popping, Queen. VOI.FYI. I don't know what the... Can anybody tell me what these acronyms mean? Sheila, if you can tell me what VOI means. Andrew Charles said, I don't think that Ryan can... Oh, I read that one. And then he said, I had an 8-4 as well, But when I watch it again, there were some close rounds. Yeah, there was rounds clearly that I gave to Cruz and rounds clearly that I gave to Tank. But it was those 3 or 4 rounds where I didn't know who to give it to. And I would tell you straight up, I would hate to have to be a judge in that situation because I really couldn't really pick which one to give it to. But you know what stands out in your head when Tank did decide to put on the clinic and boxing. That I can't get that out of my head. So that's why I say if I had to pick one, I'm edging Tank. I'm edging Tank. I was waiting for Tank to catch that motherfucking lean forward. I like Cruz. So let me take the motherfucker off his name. I like Cruz. But when he leans forward, he does that all the time. And I was watching it with my friend. And I told him, I said, hey, he's gonna lean forward and Tank is gonna catch him. And y'all saw that Tank try to throw that uppercut all night. He didn't land everyone. And he did land some, and Cruz just walked through it. I think Cruz did better than most thought he would have. I mean, he would, and gave him some rounds. Something happened with Floyd and Madonna, but it's all subjective. Floyd and Madonna, the singer? Or you meant Maidana, the fighter? Yo, I don't know which one you mean, but it's possible with both of them. So can you clarify, King? You saying Madonna, like a virgin, the singer, or Maidana, the fighter? You know, so. But Ryan wants to weigh in, and oh my goodness, he weighing in. Ryan sent a message out meant for Tank to see, and Tank, he said Tank gets away. This is his quote. I'm saying it. Tank gets away with fighting C-level fighters. Out of all the lightweights, he's the weakest. His toughest test was Leo. Almost lost tonight. Bring it on. I've been calling you out for a while. So that's what Ryan had to say. So I'm going to read it again. This is what Ryan had to say. Tank gets away with fighting C-level fighters. Out of all the lightweights, he is the weakest. His toughest test was Leo. Almost lost tonight. Bring it on. I've been calling you out for a while. Ain't that about a bitch? Ain't that about a bitch? Oh, the fighter. JoJo said the fighter. Something recently has happened with him and Floyd. He probably won a rematch on the exhibition because he done ran out his damn money. You know, he was Argentina rich with his pay period. With his payday. You know. First off, Ryan Garcia, ducking ass. First off, number one, he is not the weakest. So get that language out your mouth. Tank is not the weakest in the lightweight. Are you fucking crazy? Tank, he could whoop your ass. Easy. The other number one, because I got a bunch of number ones. The other number one is Cruz is not a C-level fighter. He wasn't before Tank, even though we all didn't hear about. I did. I knew about him. But just because y'all didn't know about him don't make him a C-level fighter. If that was a good fight and Tank is an A-plus fighter, then what the fuck does that make Cruz? Cruz actually did a little bit worse than he normally do. That's all a testament to Tank. This is how I know the Tank took it to another level and gear, put some stank on it, because Cruz wasn't all the way himself, but neither was Tank. That was a good ass fight. That was a very competitive fight. So you can't, Ryan, call Cruz a C-level fighter. He ain't got bitch in him like you. The third number one, you called everybody out and then you don't sign the contract. Hence the phrase, they say everything, but let's fight. And then Bill had to put an extra stank on it and say, they say everything, but let's fight right now. That shit was tailor-made to you. That was really kind of like tailor-made to you. It's really what it was born out of. Because you say everything, but let's fight. You do that. Oh, he said the fighter. Andrew said Cruz did some beautiful bobbing and weaving at times during the fight, slipping past Tank's defense. He was strategic in where he placed his punches too. They wasn't low, but I don't like them that low because they was like on his hip. And from what some boxers have told me, you might as well just hit him in the nuts. So, I mean, and Tank walked through that shit. So I was like, God damn, can he bring it up? And then that's what I was saying. Tank grabbed about it. It was a couple of dirty tactics in there. They knew what they was doing. To say Cruz is a C-level fighter, I can't agree with that. If he just fought an A+ level fighter, because that's how we describe Tank, like an A+ fighter or A-level fighter. If he's like that, and that was the toughest competition he ever faced, it went the distance, he didn't knock him out, we gonna still call Cruz a C-level fighter? Should have never called him a C-level fighter beforehand, because if you go back and watch his fights, he is way better in his other fights than he is in this fight. But that will be a testament to what Tank was doing. And y'all saw how good he was. Go back and watch his other fights. So Ryan, you are all the way wrong. Have several seats. And you just a scared fighter. It is what it is. Ain't no problem with that. Because they always say you can't be a scared fighter in the fight game. If you don't belong in there, don't get in there. This is not the place to play. This is not a sport you play. This is a sport you do. So if you scared, Ryan, then don't get in there. Hey, all of y'all in here, smash the like button. Remember I said what I want for Christmas? You all are my secret Santa. Hit that like button and subscribe if you never subscribed before. To all my Facebookers coming to YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. You are my secret Santas too. Come on, y'all. Get this up for Christmas. This is my Christmas present. It's all I ask for. Y'all are my secret Santas. Now, in other news, we're gonna roll out of Ryan because I don't like to stay on him too long. He's weak. He's a coward, and it ain't just me saying it. Your own boy, your uncle, your big daddy, Canelo, called you out. So it ain't the world, Ryan. It's you. I don't like to call you out your name, but get out of boxing or get in boxing. One or the other. You can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You know, because you looking real crazy right now. You looking real crazy. And you looking like you scared. And I'm going to tell you, I used to like Anthony Joshua. Till I saw the fear in his eyes for Deontay Wilder. The fear that you should have against another man if you're in boxing should be the same fear you might have had just by boxing, period. And if you still became a boxer, like you got over that fear of just being a boxer, then why should you have fear of another man? You know, I can understand people having fear of Canelo because he did an extra curricular shit. He drinking that tea, you know. He has no regard for human life. He could be the nicest man, be the greatest father, donate $1 million to cancer research. I don't give a damn about none of that. You have no regard for human life. And that's how I gotta see you. And anybody else who cheat and get in that ring. You have no regard for human life. And I don't hang with killers. I don't hang with murderers and people who do crimes and that maim and hurt other people. Those are not my friends. So why would I turn around and like you when that's exactly what you're doing? You're attempted murdering. When you get in that ring, cheating. So, and Canelo, he has no fear because he got extra shit with him. He also got refs, and he also got, I've never seen a ref have to go that far for Canelo, but judges certainly have. Floyd Mayweather watched him, but one judge had it a draw. And never once have I ever heard Canelo speak on it. And then a lot of these media folks, they don't even put the mic in his face and be like, can you speak to that? Never. Payday, payday. He won't pay that. The plane. Every time I hear that, that's what I think of. Tattoo on Fantasy Island. The old original of Fantasy Island. But moving on. Ugas had to fight Stanionis. So y'all know we was waiting on that decision today to see what was going to happen with the WBA. And we were hoping. I personally want to see Bud and Errol as soon as possible. I don't want to wait to the summer or the fall, but the only reason that I'm willing to wait, and this is the only reason, because I believe Errol needs time to properly heal. He needs time to properly heal, y'all. The eye injury to me was serious, but anything neck and above is serious, and it takes longer to heal. Anybody who's had injuries from your neck up know what I'm talking about. Y'all know this to be true. It takes longer to heal from anything from your neck. I'm talking about the nape of your neck, down here where your collarbone, up. Whether it's your ears, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your head, whatever. It takes longer to heal, especially if it's internal, like Deontay Wilder's ear. It's going to take a long time. He gonna be like a decade before he see that shit totally went back to normal. I know. Same problem. Ain't had nobody hit it and break it open, but I was born with defective ears, at least one of them, and I've had to have surgery on it, but they flipped my ear over and just went all up in there. It took me 15 years to get over that shit. I'm not bullshit. I had the surgery when I was 20. I finally felt like I had a regular ear at 35. Telling you. And I was very protective of it. You could have plucked me in the ear and dropped me to my knees. I won't broadcast in that shit because I don't want to get nobody no leverage. But that's the truth. And then, talking about your eye, you want to talk about pain? That's one of the worst pains ever. I don't know if I know that it's more nerve endings in your mouth than anywhere else on your body. I don't know if that's true about your eyes, but it probably is. So this is why I want Errol to wait. I sincerely want Errol to wait. I'm a fan of Errol's, but between him and Terrence, I got Terrence. I like him more. It don't mean I like Errol any less, but I want him to properly heal. Whether he ever faced Terrence or not, that's not why I want him to properly heal. He has a lot of fight left in him. He can go on to do great things. Why get in the ring and damage yourself when you can't even realize your dream? Why? For who? And for what? It ain't that serious. So heal up, King. Heal up. At least wait till August. Even if you never fight Terrence, you fight somebody else, wait till August. That's what I'm saying. But I can't wait for that fight. Man, that's just figuratively speaking. I cannot wait. That time can't get here soon enough. I cannot wait till that fight go down. I might even bet, with people I know that I could go knock on your door if you ain't got my damn money. Because I know sometimes y'all dudes don't like to pay up. And I know y'all say, Miss T, that ain't really us. Yes, it's y'all. I'm telling all the ladies, be careful when you bet a guy. Because he might not pay your ass. You know what I'm saying? You got to get somebody to hold the money. Because for some reason, dudes be like, man, I ain't going to pay you. What kind of shit is that? That's why I don't gamble. Because I don't want to be like, nigga, what else? I don't want to be like that. Not that I would do that. I wouldn't do that. But for $1,000, ain't nobody playing with my money. I feel about my money like probably most of y'all feel about y'all money. We're not gonna play these games. But that's why I don't even bet, because I don't even want to go through that, because I'm gonna be mad as a bitch, and I'm gonna be mad for a long time. But y'all don't think I want to bet? I do. But I done had that happen so many times. I'm still looking for niggas that owe me $5. My nigga that my friend in the street owe me $17 on a stupid ass bet. How we come up with the number 17? I don't know. You think he paid me? That's 7 years ago. But if I was a guy, he would have paid me. I don't see why I need to be a guy for you to honor a bet. But you know what I said to myself? It's always like that, T. So don't even bet them, because now you're gonna have to be like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't wanna live like that. So shit. If we can put the money in safe hands, and I'm not talking about another man's hand. I don't know what safe hands is. So I probably would have to bet with bookies, like somebody who's going to honor the bet. And fellas, I ain't saying this all of y'all, but shame on y'all if y'all do that shit. You can recollect in your head in your lifetime, were you ever that guy that bet a woman and did not pay her? Shame on y'all. That's bullying. That's trying to take advantage, because you know she ain't going to get crunk with it like dudes. But some women do get crunk with it. But, you know, some women be like, you know what, I don't even want to bet. Y'all are missing out on a lot of bets and everything, because women do want to bet. But damn, if y'all ain't going to pay, why the hell should we bet? That's the only reason I don't bet. And I got the money to do it. Because if I'm a bet, I'm a bet. I play to win. Shelton Moore, because they aren't real men, Miss T. Shelton Moore is in the building, was popping king. Well, that's how I look. I know I ain't seen you in a minute, Shelton. Let me get this link up in here. I'm gonna let you cook too if you want to. But let me get this last one out, Shelton. I ain't seen this man in a minute. So Ugas gonna have to fight Stanionis after all. So all that trying to get the Earl fight, unfortunate for Ugas, unfortunate for Earl, but in a sense, fortunate for Earl. You don't need to be fighting until August. It was possible that they might have made a fight, because we all know Earl said, fuck it, I don't need a tune-up. Put me right back in the mix. I ain't worried about none of that shit. That's what Earl said. And we got to believe him, because Earl ain't never lied, right? But and Ugas like, shit, it's my opportunity to make a lot of money. Y'all taking the food out of my family mouth by making me fight this what you call him, and y'all ain't gonna give me no props anyway. Y'all just want a white dude up in there. What up, Sheldon? They just want a white dude up in there to be in the mix with them two black guys, some two black kings. That's just how I see it. It's not, I ain't saying it's racist. It's not the guys that's being racist. It's the powers that be that's trying to do that. Why you have to inject yourself? The two kings in the welterweight are the damn Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. That's the showdown. Why the fuck we gotta have Stanionis in the mix and all them motherfuckers? I don't know, but that's what they want. But the WBA had ordered them to fight, so we was waiting on that decision. And there's two orders that came down today. On heavyweight side, Trevor Bryan versus Muhammad Char. They're gonna start it off at 11 a.m. local time, wherever that time is, wherever that place is. And Ugas versus Stanionis. That's coming right after the Trevor Bryan's purse bid. So that's what's going on. That's what's going to happen. They ordered it, and it's pretty much looking like it's going to purse bid. And they say it's to further their plans to reduce the belts in the WBA. That's the whole reason. Now, the winner of Ugas and Stanionis will face Razab or whatever. And don't forget Buatev out there. So pretty much trying to lock up the WBA belt. Nobody, Earl or Spence, is probably not going to get a chance to be a WBA champion. And so, hold on, let me look at this question. If all Ugas has is a WBA, and this made me think of this too, if all he got is a WBA, and Earl got the I mean the IBF and the WBC, and Bud got the WBO, then what is the box out for? Because we know that whoever has a WBA and they win another belt, they be elevated to the super champion, and the regular championship is vacated, and the top two contenders fight for it. Well, in this situation, that doesn't apply, right? Because if all you gotta do is go back and look at from T.O. to George and all that stuff with Tank. So I never understood the box off. They carry Ugas like he was an interim champion, and it's not fair. And it also means with them making this ruling that he has to fight him, it also means that Spence and Bud fight is up next. And after that, I'm gonna give it to Mr. Shelton. Where you been, boo boo?
Girl, you know I've been working. I've been busy. I'm tired. You know my wife's birthday yesterday, so I
Oh,
called
happy
off today.
birthday, Miss Moore.
Yeah, she going to Vegas with her girls, so I'm here by
Uh
myself and I'm getting me some rest. I called off today. I'm cool.
oh. I heard
But
that he works hard for the money.
yes, ma'am. But look, Miss T,
Yeah.
are you shocked?
Yeah.
They told you they trying to eliminate that regular title. That's what
Yeah,
the
they
whole
are.
tournament is for.
Mm-hmm.
Ugas got to fight Stanionis. Now, if I'm correct, the winner of Stanionis and Ugas got to fight Butayev, right?
Yeah, but
And the winner
question.
of that will be the champion.
Now they throwing some guy named Razab off. But here's the question. Who is the super WBA champion? Nobody.
As we speak.
No, he how is he the super? How is he the super?
Because he was the super and Jamal James was the regular. Jamal James got his ass kicked. So now Butayev is the regular.
You know, I forgot about Jamal James. I was about to get mad. I was about to get you, Shelton.
Yeah.
That's why I love you. That's why I love you.
Yeah, I love you. Hey, look, that's why Jamal James got his ass whooped. So now Butayev is the regular champion.
Oh, okay.
The regular title has mandatory.
Wait, whoa. I think I still got a loophole.
What's that?
None of them have another title. Because I read up today how you become super champion. If you get another title, whether it's IBF, WBC, WBO, then you get elevated to super champion and your regular championship is vacated.
Okay, so that means that the super title is vacant and they all fighting for it in the tournament. That's what that means.
Andrew Charles said, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know the future. But I think Ugas is going to torch Stanionis.
Yeah, he should beat him. Stanionis is slow as shit. He got power. He's a good boxer, but he's slow as molasses. So Ugas should counterpunch him to death.
Okay.
Now, Butayev looked good against Jamal James. Well, he looked that way against Ugas. I don't know.
Look, I'm trying to close out all these things. I'm hearing the echo. So, hold on.
It's probably my messed up StreamYard. I got to get me a better phone. I got to go buy a phone tomorrow.
Yes, it's almost Christmas.
Yeah, I got to go get me an upgrade or something. But yeah, how you been, Miss T?
I've been doing all right. I ain't seen nobody. I had troubles with my thing. I bought a new mixer. I mean, y'all said the mic sound good, but then it's like it's crazy. Like nobody was getting my notifications, and like it seemed like my viewership went down. Like where everybody at? But then somebody told me that they said that it had me coming on at 11. I was like, what? And for all of y'all that's in here, I come on every day, Monday through Friday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. that is. Smash the like button and hit the subscribe button if you never did. Harry Glenn in the building. What's poppin', King? VOY.FY. Shelton, what is this shit? I gotta know, because I keep getting a lot of this. Does this mean that they overseas? This VOI, FYI. It's some more in here. These VOI. That was VOY. VOA.
I have no idea what that is, Miss T. I couldn't even help. I couldn't even help you.
Shit. Do anybody know what that means? Harry Glenn, what say you? What is that? What is that that void? What does that mean? But while we cooking, well, I got another Miss T. Like, this is crazy. Like, my thing be acting crazy, man. Let me see. I don't know. But yeah, I figured you was working. I was like, look, some of my family watch the show. They be like, where Mr. Shelton? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm working. I was working. I've been busy. But what I want to ask you? Oh yeah, did you see the fight Sunday?
Most definitely. What you think? I done already said it a couple of days. What I've been thinking. You got the floor, King.
Well, I watched it Monday when I got home Monday morning, and shit, I just think the boy was a little bit tougher than they thought. You know, as they say, Tank hurt his hand in the 6th round. Didn't they say it was hurt going into the fight? So, you know, it was hurt. We just don't know when or where or how.
Do it matter? Do it matter?
It doesn't really matter. I mean, people that fought through hurt, broken hands before. I mean, look at Haney. When he fought Gamboa, they shit all over him. He fought Gamboa with a broken hand. So, it is what it is. But, yeah, I think the guy was just better than everybody thought. That's my thought.
Now, do you remember who for months been pumping Isaac Cruz?
Let me think.
Let the chat know.
You see, you've been telling me about Isaac Cruz since August or September?
Most definitely, King. You remember. Yes. I've been saying that dude's the truth. I was like, this dude remind me in his relentless drive like a Earl Spence. And I'm going to tell you, that's one of Earl's best attributes. A motherfucker come off like Terminator. He just relentless.
Yeah, he looked like, to me, he reminded me of a Chavez back in the day. So Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.
I can see
he hit
that.
That dude with a bat, and he just keep coming. No matter what you do, he just keep coming. This dude just kept coming. He had that little peekaboo style trying to look like Mike. And I think where Tank hurt his hand because the boy was dipping his head. You know, he was dipping his head. I think Tank might have hit him in the top of the head and broke his hand.
He had a little smoking Joe with him, you know, in him. All that dipping and all that. He had a little smoking Joe.
Good. Now, you got these fools out here talking about he won the fight, and he didn't win the fight. He got outboxed.
Tank had moments in several rounds where he outboxed him clearly. But Tank had to. I think
it was like 7. I had a 7-5. I scored a 7-5 Tank.
Yeah. I actually said when Tank in them fight, I don't know if you ever watch any of my shows and replay. I said Tank cannot go into this fight fighting him like he did Barrios or Leo. Because Tank is reserved a little bit as he get older, and he strategic. Not that he's tired. He's just more strategic, right? And you can't do that with Isaac. He gonna make you fight.
I kind of I want to rebut you on that, Miss T. I totally believe that Tank only has one way to fight.
What?
I don't see. I mean, he can box. He got great his footwork in this fight was amazing. I give him that.
Yeah.
His footwork was amazing. I love his footwork. But he's a come forward dude. That's where he's most comfortable, in my opinion. So he only fights one.
If you're saying, like, this is one thing I see about Tank too. Once Tank noticed he couldn't hurt this guy, he was flustered.
Yeah, his confidence kind of dipped, huh?
He was disheveled, meaning like, what the fuck do I do? Like, so when you say he's only come forward, that may have some validity. I think Tank always move. I think he always show you that he can box. But I think he's had what this fight proved, and I call the weekend of exposed. Like a lot of people was exposed in these last week, including last week beforehand. Because why? A lot of people was worried about a fight with Tank because Tank can box when he wants to. It seemed like, but like you say, he come forward. He's the aggressor. Why is he the aggressor? Because he can take a punch, and y'all not hurting him, but he hurting y'all. In this fight, he had to dig deep to take them punches, and he wasn't hurting Isaac. And I think that made him disshuffle. If you look at the corner and the trainer tracks and all that, oh, he had a look of delirious in his eyes. So did Devin. It was great all around, Shelton. Both fights, but they were exposed because if let's say, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, let's say Devin was fighting somebody with a little bit more power. Cause I don't give a fuck what nobody say. JoJo hurt him several times. But go ahead.
Yeah, JoJo hurt him, but this is the debate I've been having with people at the job and a couple of my friends on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
How many times has Devin been down?
Never.
How many times have he been KO'd?
Never.
Everybody gets hurt in the fight, so to me that don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying?
He was
will he fight other fighters? Will he fight other fighters the way he fought JoJo? I don't believe so, because as I told you, what did I tell you when we were talking about this fight the last time we was together? I told you JoJo just too little.
He's just too little.
Just too little. Dev came in that fight about 155 pounds. Am I right or wrong?
He always looked big to me.
Yeah. So JoJo's just too little. He won't fight other. He's just too little. JoJo's not gonna do
gave him some competition though, and I would say he hurt him several times. So when you say everybody gets hurt,
8-4, 9-3,
nah,
maybe.
Well, I don't know. Look,
damn near one.
He was this.
I mean, JoJo's not that good. JoJo didn't impress me.
JoJo impressed me. JoJo impressed me that he wasn't the chicken that everybody thought he was. Well, at least I thought he was a chicken too, like avoiding Devin and shit. But JoJo took it to him. I think Devin paid dividends when he kept hitting him in the body. And I think he hurt Devin several times. And some of that stuff that Batman and what's his name has said about Gary and what Gary saw in Devin, I saw that too. The holes, the wide shots and shit like that. I saw that. Devin can always go back and improve upon that. Devin remained a boxer, and he took it to another level in that fight. He had to. That's a beautiful thing. This good constructive criticism, because they performed well.
Devin is the boxer. Devin made that fight harder than it had to be.
Yeah, he did.
He made that fight harder than it had to be. JoJo's not that good. JoJo's not going to do well at 135. He needs to go back to 30. That. Yeah, he's not going to do well at 135. I guarantee you that. He ain't going to
the guys up there is a little bit too big for him. So,
he ain't do well at 135. He needs to go back to 30. Because as I pointed out, JoJo wasn't knocking shit out at 26.
Yeah. But let me reach back into the past, like last month. Was you here to talk about Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter? Because I know, Coach G was here. You was?
I was.
I forgot, man. I forgot. I'm like, oh no, we ain't gotta talk about it. Well, you heard what I said about Ugas, right? So
about standing on this, he gonna smoke it?
Well, I don't know how that fight. I don't even give a damn at this point. That means Earl and Bud gonna fight.
They're gonna have to.
They're gonna have to.
But Earl's gonna have to take a tune-up. If Earl comes off the couch after this layoff and jump right in the ring with Bud Crawford, it's not gonna end well for him.
He might as well fight Keith Thurman. But Earl said,
fight Abu Kokorov, the guy he's supposed to fight for the last 2 years. Fight him. That's your number one contender for the IBF. Fight him. Get him out the way.
Yeah, something, because but I still want Earl to wait till August. I think he should properly heal. I know I'm speaking to the wind. How y'all say, pissing up a tree or speaking to the wind. Yeah. I know, fellas. I know. But I genuinely like Earl, and if you guys are his fans, like ride or die, like I am with Bud, then y'all should want him to wait till August too. At least y'all should.
Until he's healed. Until he's properly healed. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't care if he never fight Crawford. I'd rather for the man to be healed. He still can be great. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But coming back to Bud is not a good idea.
Yeah.
But I think Bud understands that. That's why he was trolling the other day. Did you see that, Miss T?
Yeah, I saw some of it. Cause some people try to ask me, and I was like, I ain't. Because what I don't want it to turn into an Earl bashing show. I like Earl, and it never will be a Bud bashing show, and that's the bias part in me. Like, my favorite fighters, we ain't gonna be bashing like y'all can, but then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Now I always say y'all can say what y'all want, but I'll
Like
move it on.
You get on me about your boy all the time.
yeah, and I love y'all know I love Shelton, but I tell Shelton he can get cut. This is Deontay country over here. I be like,
But
moving on.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard he's contemplating, but you know what? What did I say? What I always say? Anything from the neck up takes longer to heal. That cut in his ear, and then when you win the fight and they don't give it to you, at what point? Like for me, I be like, fuck this shit. I will be like that. Cause that first fight, y'all know how I feel about it. He won. You don't count over no unconscious man. Not only did we see him unconscious, he himself, talking Tyson Fury, said he was unconscious. So to me, Deontay won that. Second fight, there's a whole lot of controversy, but let's skip to the third. Fourth round, it took you 17 seconds to get up.
Was T still on that?
Shit. I got to, Shelton. This Deontay country.
But look, it's an old axiom. It's an old axiom, Miss T, in sports. Whenever you start thinking about retirement, it's time to hang it up.
Yeah. Boxing is not something you play. You do.
Yeah. When you're thinking about retiring, it's time to go ahead and hang it up.
Andrew Charles
said, and contemplating it, he needs to go on and do it because that means your heart ain't in it.
Well, he accomplished a lot.
He was talking to Kevin Hart. Still had a cast on his hand, so he could have just been talking. Who knows?
Andrew Charles said, I had a laugh, but I don't read too much into what fighters post on social media. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like with Bud, and everybody said, why don't you get out there? Why don't you get on social media? Why don't you post? And now he's free from Bob. By the way, shout outs to Bob Arum. Happy birthday, old man. I know we don't like Bob and the way he moved in these boxing streets, but we should always celebrate any human living to the rightful age of 90. That's a beautiful thing.
Congratulations, Bob.
Happy birthday to you. In my Marilyn Monroe voice. I'm just joking. To Bob Arum. Bob would be like, hear that, Elizabeth? I'm coming to join you. Look, I've heard Bob.
Oh, Bob.
I'm just playing with you, Bob.
I would love that fight. I'm hoping we get it. We should get it in 2022 because, see, Terrence got a couple options. Mm-hmm. I think his next fight, honestly, I think his next fight is going to be Virgil. I think that's his next fight.
You talking about Terrence?
Yeah, I think that's his next fight.
That's possible.
Because that's his number one contender.
Oh, okay.
That's his number one contender. And
he gonna wash him. I just know it.
We got your boy. He's Taylor's fighting on the 26th, I believe, of February. So he's busy. Yeah, he's busy. He won't be ready till August or September.
See, a lot of fighters get a lot of fighters think that they can get dirty and grimy with Terrence until they get in the ring and see that shit don't work. Because Josh Taylor is a dirty, grimy fighter. I'm not saying it in a way like saying, oh, he don't deserve what he got or he cheated his way. No, he's rugged, he's dirty, he's grimy. Whatever he can get away with, he's going to do. Like I say, it's a fight game. But he get in there.
Yeah, that's professional boxing. That's why they got a ref, Miss T. It's professional boxing.
They gonna get away with what they gonna do, But you get in there with Terrence, and it's gonna be a rude awakening when y'all try to wrestle.
Not to these guys, because they say Sean Porter was gonna rough him up. How did that work out for y'all?
Exactly. Tell us how that worked out. I'm just
how did Sean Porter roughing him up work out for you?
It did not. It did not.
I told them, I think it was a month ago we talked about this. I told them on this show that there is no version of Sean Porter that beats Terrence Crawford. I don't care if the version showed up that fought Errol or any of those dudes. There is no version of Sean Porter that beats Crawford.
And why is that? Because boxing always wins, y'all. Boxing, all pure boxing. You know, even with a brawler or somebody that's dangerous, that's rugged, boxing up. Isaac Cruz and Tank outboxed him. He did at times in those in those rounds where they was especially close. Who's gonna catch the eye more? The person that's boxing, or the person that's just coming, just aggressive and not always landing. That's why I said that was a close ass fight. And he hurt Tank. So when they be acting like he did you see what he said at the end though, Sheldon? When Jim Gray asked him, do he want a rematch?
He said, hell no.
Mm-hmm.
He said, hell no.
So, now, you watched the post? You watched the post press conference, right?
No, I didn't.
When you check that out, they asked it again. He never really answered it. He danced around it.
He don't want to fight that dude no more.
Not that tall.
Yeah, he done with that cat. But that guy made himself a star that night. I give it to him.
Didn't he though? Didn't he though?
He's gonna be trouble. Him. Yeah, he's gonna be trouble for anybody at 35, I believe.
He in my top 10. You wasn't here, so I probably read you to my top 10. You tell me what you think. So I try to put it on a PowerPoint so I can bring it up so everybody can see it. But I got George Kambosos as number 1, and I always ask the question why after I chose who I chose, and I said because he have all the belts except one. That makes him the top dog. Devin Haney, number 2, he was the WBC. He had the WBC belt. Gervonta Davis, because he is undefeated and he got the WBA regular belt. Teofimo did not drop that far off the number 1 spot just because he took a loss. So why? Because where is it at? Oh, because he has 1 loss. That's all he got. He was just dethroned. Doesn't drop that far down. Vasily Lomachenko, number 5. Why? Because he got 2 losses. He was a previous owner of the belts before Teo. Richard Comey, why? Is number 6. And that's because he was a champion at 135 before he faced Teo. Isaac Cruz is number 7. Why? He has a better record than most of these guys, meaning his winning streak and how he finishes his opponents. Isaac Cruz been campaigning in the 135 division long before any of y'all knew who he was. He'd been there for a while and he was wrecking shop. Number 8, I got Jojo Diaz. Why? He just got into the division and for the top dog, but and he comported himself well, so I gotta put him up there. And number 9, I got Rolly Romero. He is a force to be reckoned with. He will fight a top dog. Was and he was an interim champion, but those belts have been taken away recently. Not Rolly's fault, but WBA is reducing the number of belts they got out there. So before they did away with those belts. So then number 10, I got Ryan because he always wind up being in the conversation. He is a big fight. He has a name. The top dogs are interested in fighting him, and he was the number 1 contender at one point for the WBC belt. So that's my top 10. What you think, Sheldon? You heard?
Hold on. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I dig it. It's actually pretty astute and accurate. You know what I'm saying? You got the guys in the position they need to be in. I don't, necessarily agree with Jojo Diaz, but everything else is spot on.
Yeah. He just because he fought the top dog, that's the only reason why he up there. I wouldn't put somebody who just came in the division, but hell, if you comported yourself well and you fought a top dog, which we gotta say he did comport himself well. Devin beat him.
world champion, so
Yeah.
I give respect for that.
And I won't say that Devin scalded his ass. I wouldn't say that.
But he
But
beat him
Devin beat
convincingly. I
him.
mean, that's probably wasn't close.
He beat him. I don't think it was that far apart, but he beat him.
That's probably
I
wasn't
wasn't
close.
even scoring it because I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was seriously paying more attention to who hit harder. I wasn't scoring it at
because
all.
everybody expected Devin to go in there and just knock this guy out. I was
He ain't got
expecting
that.
to go in there and knock this guy out. I was disappointed in Devin, actually.
But see, Devin is a pure boxer, and you always side with that more than anything else with power and all that stuff. But in the end of the day, if Devin fought a pure boxer that's just as fast as him, he done. They got popped though. They got popped.
I don't know about that because I think I'm gonna say this. I truly believe, Miss T, that the weight cut is killing Devin.
That was somebody else said.
I think Devin needs to move up.
I ain't mad at that assessment. I'm not
Because
mad at that.
when you blowing up 20 pounds the next day, it's time to move up.
Did they have an unofficial weight of him?
He's about 150, 155, something like that.
Damn. This motherfucker can fight at 147 if he weighing that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
he is a young guy.
We gotta remember. We always gotta remember this. Devin is not done growing yet. He's only 23 years old.
Yeah, 23. He just turned 23. Like literally just turned 23.
So he got to fill out. He hasn't filled out yet.
I don't think he's gonna get much power.
I don't know. When you're not cutting as much weight and you're feeling better and you're stronger and you're healthier, because cutting weight, can kill you.
This is why I won't get that to him. You know why? Devin is not. You want to think because he's so young, he just look like a baby sometimes. I know he all man. Devin, if you're listening, you all man. But I'm just saying you do look like a baby sometimes. So what? But he been fighting at that weight for a while now. He ain't got. It ain't like I think he got more fights than Lomachenko. So in that case, he has never shown that he had power though. Even for that weight.
Because you got to remember, Devin is a kid. He's always been like 20, 21, 22 years old. Devin was a kid.
What we say about
Benavidez, if he moves up to 40, I promise you it'll be different. Well, because he's not preparing himself to make the weight.
What about Benavidez? He's a kid too. He's 24. Alicia Clark in the building.
But see, Benavidez, here's the difference. Benavidez is really in the same. If you want to be honest, he's in the same category Devin is. Benavidez ain't fought nothing but cans his whole career. Who he fought?
He knocking the motherfuckers out. Devin ain't doing that.
Supposed to knock out a can.
Well, Devin ain't doing it. That's what I'm saying.
He ain't fighting cans no more. The last can he fought was that dude when he got knocked out of the year. That's the last can he fought.
Oh my goodness. Oh, this thing is killing my ears, y'all. Here's another one. Alicia Clark, welcome to the building. What's poppin', Queen? VOT.FY. Y'all gotta explain what the fuck that means. I'm starting to take it personal. Rose Jacobs, what's poppin', Queen? VOH. Like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck that means. Andrew Charles said Devin could develop into a break him down fighter. That's what I think he's best known for. He's consistent. I ain't gonna say relentless, but he's consistent. He boxes better. And eventually you see this nigga ain't getting tired and he gonna keep doing the same thing. He can take the quit. He can make you quit. That's how I see Devin.
I just think that, Miss T, I think if he goes up in weight, his body is gonna feel better. He's gonna feel stronger because he's not killing himself to make it. Just like Lopez been killing himself to make 35.
Oh, did you hear about him?
Yeah, I heard that he had a torn esophagus and he had air in places it wasn't supposed to be. He could have died. That's very dangerous.
He had that before the fight.
Yeah,
he had is a condition that we all could catch. Because I read up on that shit. I was like, God damn, that's some scary shit right there. But if you have like bronchial problems or asthma like really bad, or and I'm not tying it to COVID, y'all, but COVID is a respiratory problem. So the same thing if it's pneumonia, if it's bronchitis or whatever, those are respiratory problems. So if you suffer from that recently, it's possible you can slip into one of these situations. Now it's highly curable. It course corrects itself, but T.O. could have died. That is so serious. What would we be saying? That Kambosos just beat him to death? No. I'm glad that this man lived, and I want him to regroup and get himself back together. I never thought he was his regular self in that fight. But things happen for a reason. Kambosos was dedicated. He put a lot into his career, and he deserved to be champion too. So, but just the thing is, he ain't gonna have that long, cause Devin gonna unass all that.
Yeah, I think that's the fight. Honestly, Miss T, I think that's the fight that makes sense for Kambosos. Is the Devin fight.
Definitely. Most
To
definitely.
get all this undisputed crap out the way, and then he can move on from there. If he can beat Devin, I don't think he can. I think Devin beats him.
I don't need nobody throwing no monkey wrench in the way it's Devin's turn. He need to have a beeline straight to Kambosos, and let's do what it do. Let's see what it can do. And then they claim Kambosos can hit hard. Maybe he can. Devin, you took a punch. And any, like you said, that's fighting. Everybody gonna get hit and get hurt. But you just don't got no pop, dude. even motherfucking what's his name said in the corner. Now, do that means I want Devin to go start doing something that's gonna give him extra curricular shit that ain't nothing that he gained by working for it or naturally have? Nah, I don't want you to do that. Because just the way you fight alone, Devin, is good enough. It's good enough. I wouldn't give a damn as long as you whipping ass and everybody, see that you whip their ass clearly. I don't care if you knock nobody. I don't care what you do. Just, keep on running through them. But to this person named Alicia Clark, Rose Jacobs, all these other people with this VO something, it's kind of like an acronym. Can y'all please say something other than that, explaining what the hell does that mean? Y'all got me curious now. Thank you for coming in the building, and smash the like button while y'all in here. All of y'all are my secret Santas. So smash the like button and hit like and subscribe. You guys are my secret Santas.
Let me check this out. What they say? What it do? Oh, that's Shawty,
Yeah.
Shout G.
Shawty G is in the building with Poppin' King. Yes, can somebody explain it? I'm waiting for a second. I ain't wait too long, but I'm very curious. Y'all got my curiosity.
Yeah, we got who we got this weekend? Don't we got somebody fighting this weekend?
Lomachenko.
Oh, we got Lomachenko.
Yeah, that's free, y'all. That's on Fox.
We
And
got Lomachenko and Coleman. That's
and
on
Coleman.
ESPN, right?
Yep,
That should
Big
be
Baby.
ESPN, right?
It's Lomachenko is Bob Arum, so is it ESPN? I think ESPN or Fox. Is it ESPN? Probably ESPN. And then you got
ESPN.
Jared.
That's ESPN.
Jared, is he okay? ESPN. Jared Big Baby Anderson. He's gonna be on there. Nico Ali Walsh. I say this for him. This is the third fight he doing it right as far as fighting often.
Yeah,
This is the third fight.
That's the way you groom a young fighter with no amateur background. You're right.
He's fighting often, y'all. Clearly, he understands that he couldn't lose, and they grooming him right. I ain't mad at even if they slow walking him or giving him a fairly easier opponent to deal with. I'm not mad because, like you said, he kind of late to the party, right? But he's doing what we ask. He's doing what we ask fighters to do. He's fighting often.
That's how you groom a young fighter, especially a fighter that needs experience.
Mm-hmm.
He got a decent right hand. We know that.
Yeah, he do.
But what else does he have?
Well, this second fight on the Shakur Stevens card, he actually improved from the first fight. So I'm expecting the third fight for him to improve. Also, Keyshawn Davis, y'all favorite
Yeah,
Olympian,
he
he's
just
fighting
signed.
too.
He just signed the Bob, didn't he?
Yeah, him and his brother, and another Olympian. They all signed the Bob. So that's going down this weekend. Back to back weekends. This was the best uh in the year and for boxing in a while. Ever since you might as well say ever since Deontay and Tyson fought, it's been smooth sailing. We had some hiccups, but we had some relief pitchers. Like
Yeah, well,
Uskatiki.
boxing's coming back. Boxing is looking good. It's doing good.
Yeah, it's coming back.
I want it to continue. I want it to continue. I want to see the sport continue to grow and get some more casual fans in the sport. You know what I'm saying? And I just want things to get better. I love the sport. I love everything about it. I just hate people who I just can't stand people who don't have what's the word I'm looking for?
Fortitude.
Don't have the ability to listen to other opinions and still keep their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Without
we can all
degenerating.
get along. We can all get
Crazy.
along.
Yeah, it's a boxing opinion. Nothing more. It's your opinion. It's not a fact. You don't know who's gonna win. Who was gonna win? They wouldn't have to fight. That's
It's
why they
talking
fight.
shit, swallowing spit, like all
That's
of
it.
us like to do in our life. It's a fraction of your life. It's not the whole part of your life. So yeah, we can delve into that and have fun with it. And then, hey, at the end, I love you. So that's what it's gonna be. It's all love.
Instead of gonna pull up on you when I see you, it's on and all this old weirdo stuff.
Yeah, that's not my character. So for Christmas, like getting close when the fights totally end, because we got a fight on the 18th or the night. I know the Jake Paul fight got moved to the 19th. I said something about that yesterday, but there's other fights that's gonna be on the 18th as well, and that's a nice weekend. I can't remember who's headlining. Just so
and Marcus Brown, you talking about?
yes, and just to be clear, Clarissa Shields is not fighting this month. Her fight was moved to January 29th.
Yeah, she's fighting that girl on her and Savannah Marshall fighting on the same card.
Oh, okay. Well, that's gonna be a good one too. There's a guy on that card too. I can't remember because I was like, oh, they mixing it up with her. So they getting moved to January 29th.
I think it's Conor Ben, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Conor Ben and Chris Algieri.
Yeah,
That might be it.
I think that's the fight.
When we get to
it could be that Chris Eubank fight. Eubank fight got moved too.
That's coming up. Yeah. Now we're gonna get to a point where there's gonna be a lull moment in boxing, and that's the closer we get to Christmas. I will try to figure out what to say on the show. Y'all might see me do 15-minute shows because it ain't gonna be boxing. Maybe I'll do like a history type show of a particular fighter or something, or that do a research, give myself a research project to do. Like maybe that's the time to talk in depth about the different sanctioning bodies and what they're doing and just that and the other. I'm trying actually to get a guest on who specializes in drugs, period. And so that they can speak to why fighters start off right, worship their temple, which is their body, only to turn it over to drug. What is the leverage? What can make somebody be attracted to that when you didn't even think that way when you started fighting? So like for the boxers out there on cocaine, why?
You got to understand this. You got to look at Ms. T where they usually come from. I mean, how many suburban kids or well-to-do kids go into boxing?
Not many.
Not many, if any.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if you, I remember the old people used to tell me this when I was a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
They said, if you grow up surrounded by chaos and bullshit, what do you think you're going to be attracted to?
Chaos and bullshit.
Chaos and bullshit. If that's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm gonna be attracted to. Like people, they say they feel bad for AB, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The problem with Adrian Broner is who he is. Because people have a misconception that money changes you. Money doesn't change you. Money exposes more of who you really are.
Yeah. Look, the first lady said it best. The former first lady, Michelle Obama, when she said, "This job doesn't pull you back." Like, I'm paraphrasing, but she was like, "This job won't like hide your true self. It's actually gonna bring your true self out even more. It's gonna shine the light on you." Certain jobs is like that.
Right.
And so, like you said, money can change folks. It shouldn't, but it is. It could change me. I can't tell you I won't never change if I had $10 million all of a sudden, because that never happened. So I can't tell you that. I would like to think I'm too far in along in the tooth to even try to do something like that. So that I will remain the same, because most of my young formative years, I've already decided what type of woman I want to be. Ruby Harper in the building. Hey, you guys with this VO shit. The fuck are y'all talking about? Clue us in. Go ahead.
Well, you gotta remember something, Miss T. You've already had life experience.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be different if you came into money. Because you went some places and done some things and seen some things. So the money wouldn't affect you because you've had money and you've lost money.
Yeah,
you understand what money is.
Mm-hmm.
But it went from nothing. Let's just take an example. Let's make an example. Let's take a Mike Tyson. You come from absolutely shit, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And you're 20 years old. And at 20 years old, all of a sudden you got access to $50, $75 million. Think back when you was 20 years old. What you have done? If somebody gave $50 million,
I would have bought me a yacht.
acting a goddamn fool.
I'd have been all over the world, and I wouldn't have re-enlisted.
Acting a goddamn fool, just like he did, because you didn't have no concept of money. You didn't understand it.
There should be a transitional class for all these young fighters, because we don't know what's going to happen. It should be for all sports, basketball too. You can't take somebody from humble beginnings, like you're saying, and thrust them into all of this. Young guys, what do y'all dream of when y'all little? Y'all want all the bitches, all the money, all in the video, and then you finally get it like overnight, and then we supposed to think that you can balance that shit out mentally, and you can't.
Well, NFL, does it, this symposium, and they have bring in financial advisors. They tell these guys what they're gonna be up against. They bring in former players and tell them to, explain to them what's gonna happen and how this shit's gonna go. But the problem with young people the biggest problem with young people is that young people think they're invincible.
Damn, I say that shit all the time. They don't like to hear it neither.
When I was coming up and running the streets and doing the shit I was doing before I went to the military, you know what I used to say all the time? All them old niggas don't know what they're doing. That shit ain't gonna happen to me. Well, guess what?
You see me? I swear you couldn't tell me shit neither. Nothing. And then if your parents tell you, you like, oh, I'm grown now. You can't tell me nothing. I remember my daddy had to tell me, don't you buy another damn car. And I was in my 30s.
Yeah, because you buy a car because you could.
Mm-hmm.
Look, my grandmother used to say this shit all the time. She used to say, boy, what you know about life, I could put in the thimble. You don't know nothing. You think you do, because you got that uniform on and you can win some places and you see a little bit of shit you don't know. And I can look back now at 55 and say, damn, that old woman was right. I didn't know shit.
Look, grandma was coming through with the cliches, won't she?
Yeah, because she knew. See, I'm talking to somebody. I got somebody talking to me that was born in 1916.
Yeah, what you gonna say?
So she went from the horse and carriage to the airplane. She seen all of that.
She done seen the Wright brothers before they made the splash. She saw them trying. Yeah.
She saw all of that.
My grandparents were born in
World War II. She saw all of that.
Yeah, my grandparents were born in 04 and 06.
Right.
They was old. They was up there.
Yeah, so but when you're young, Miss T got it all figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let you get a hold of that word. Don't let you get a hold of a little piece of paper.
Look, you know what the new saying that you tell? Well, it's not new because my mama used to tell me. She was like, keep on living. Tell me how that work out. I'm like, why she always say that shit?
You think you know what you're doing? Keep on living. I said to kids now, yeah, keep on living, son. Keep on living. I said, no, what you need to do is go home tonight. You need to pray. Pray you make it. That's what you need to do.
I tell my kids now because they grown. Look, you do what you want to do. I ain't got really much. I can't say that because they want their independence. But when it comes to your safety, I do not apologize. I don't give a fuck. I will turn this motherfucker out when it comes to the safety. I ain't apologizing. Ain't nobody gonna calm me down. If everybody's standing around when the shit go down, it's well. That's just how I feel. And my kids be like, just shake their head.
I promised myself I will never go back to the penitentiary unless it's behind my child or my wife. Other than that, I won't go back.
Knock on wood, I don't ever want to go in the first place.
Yeah, I won't go back.
But yeah, I'm gonna find some interesting topics to talk about to add to boxing conversation because it's gonna be Christmas time and everybody's on vacation. But I'm gonna try to talk look this talk we just had. It could be like that. It could be you as a guest. Me and you just chop it up because you well knowledge in boxing, and we just pick each other brain. And it's a free for all, y'all. Y'all go come in and y'all participate.
Yeah, instead of being in the chat, just sit there. Come on, jump on the panel and chop it up.
Yeah, jump in. Don't be scared of me. I ain't gonna bite you unless you want me to.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Unless you want me to. Smash the like button. I told y'all mother suckers that y'all are my secret Santa. Smash that like button and subscribe button if you never subscribe. That's what I asked for Christmas. I expected.
I'm gonna go ahead and make me something to eat. It's always great talking to you, Queen.
If
you up, I'll probably see you tonight. I got some time, so I might stay up and mess with Kyle and them. But other than that, see you tomorrow.
Hey, Shelton, be short. Look, I'm gonna play it at the end, but I got a little bit more to say before I get out of here. Y'all stick around and listen to my I just made a new intro because some of y'all don't be here when I start, so y'all miss it. But Shelton, for you, if you gotta go, all you gotta do is click in the beginning and shit, it'll play the intro. Let me know how you feel about it tomorrow.
I will, man. Love you.
All right, we miss you too.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you for coming through. Hey, that's my boy right there. I'm telling y'all people that's writing this VOG, VOT, VOH, what the fuck? Are y'all spelling out something? Is it a code? Because I'm actually looking at the third letter trying to figure out is a code. I'm going to put all these third letters together and try to make a word and shit. Do my Soul Train scramble board on your ass. What do y'all talk about? What do y'all talk about? Y'all better be nice. I'm just joking. Hey, listen, smash the like button before we go. Hit the subscribe button if you ain't never been here. Hit that joint. That's all I ask for Christmas. Y'all can't give me that. Come on now. I'm here every day for y'all. Listen, my show comes on at Monday through Friday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes there's some technical difficulties. I will be on here unless I'm in the hospital somewhere, you know. So y'all just come through. Friday nights we have Grown Women Talk, where the ladies come through and we just kick it and chop it up like we are on the phone. I know y'all men like to, hey, this y'all opportunity to be that fly on the wall. Y'all get to see us in our element. And then Sundays, I do a wellness show because that's my passion. That's another passion I have. 1300, meaning 1 p.m. every Sunday. Now, I know football is on and basketball. So what I've said to myself is shorten the goddamn monologue. But it be so much sometimes. But I am making a concerted effort to shorten whatever I'm gonna put out on Sundays, because I need y'all to do what us Americans do. Look at y'all football and basketball. I need to put some respect on that shit, right? So that's what I'm doing. But I will do it every Sunday because I don't want to mix up too many different types of programs. This is my boxing show Monday through Friday. Even Friday, I do about 30 minutes of boxing because the ladies, they all got jobs. They all got jobs, and sometimes they get home late. So I got to give them time to get it together, right? But anywho, thank y'all for coming in. I will see y'all. Look, another thing. When you know better, you do better. But go on and check out my new intro, and y'all tell me how y'all like it the rest of this week when y'all chime in tomorrow. Like and subscribe. Last chance. Last chance. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Peace. I'll see y'all tomorrow. When you know better, you do better.